is the company you keep.
He left the core behind.
Take the truck!
But he was called back into action.
You have multiple assailants. They have a hostage. It's my wife.
John Cena is the Marine. Rated PG-13. Now playing only in theaters.
Are our SUVs as much fun as our bikes? The all-new Suzuki XL7, coming November 1st.
This weekend, family drama comes to TNT. Saturday at 7, life unfolds with Steve Martin and Diane Keaton in Father of the Bride.
You're not getting married, and that's final.
Saturday at 9,
I'm gonna have a baby.
Steve Martin returns in Father of the Bride 2. Sunday at 8,
Girls, I'm going to Harvard.
take control with Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde. Saturday at 7, Father of the Bride. Saturday at 9, Father of the Bride 2. And Sunday at 8, Legally Blonde. It all starts this weekend on TNT.
So they're just driving along talking about whatever, and suddenly, wham.
I know, I saw it.
I think maybe they went too far.
I think where they went was real.
But is it just shocking for the sake of shocking?
Being in an accident isn't a shock?
Yeah, but you're watching TV, a commercial comes on.
Everywhere you turn, there it is. Maybe you're just seeing things. Or maybe you're not alone. Whatever it is, one thing is sure. Roadrunner High Speed Online is coming into a lot of homes near you.
Call 485-6000 and get Roadrunner for $29.95 per month for 6 months.
Roadrunner High Speed Online from Time Warner Cable.
Field about to get the green flag. They'll restart after 120 laps, 80 laps to go. Carl Edwards is the race leader. Kevin Harvick 2 laps down, the lead car in that inside lane. Be good.
Harvick got through the corner a little bit better, but that outside lane still rules if you come off side by side. Kenseth slides up the racetrack a little bit. Kyle Busch and a 5 car gets underneath him.
Harvick gets a position on Edwards. Allen.
And just before the restart, Carl was on his radio asking his crew chief, Pierre Cattell, where Kevin Harvick was, why he was laps down, and then he said, think he's probably going to want his lap back, huh? Well, we'll see what happens.
Well, right now he's got one of them back.
He needs to get at least one of them back legitimately on the racetrack to be able to take advantage of the lucky dog, because there's 5 or 6 guys in front of him right now that have to get their laps, or can't get their laps back from the lucky dog before they ever get to the 2 lap down cars.
Of course, at this rate, if there are 17 cars a lap down, they're all going to get a lucky dog.
True.
Todd Cleaver there in the 06 car. He's running pretty good. 4th spot right now.
Caution down, caution down.
Danny O'Quinn. Caution number 8.
And Harvick will get one of those laps back.
Yep. And the question is, where will his buddies in that inside lane let him restart?
You really have no buddies in that inside lane.
Watching the 50.
Just got loose underneath the 42 car of Casey Mears. Got her locked down. Definitely going to need some tires.
Goes around coming off of turn 2. Dave Blaney will be the lucky dog. And as Kyle pointed out, Harvick did get one of his laps back on the track.
How lucky is that? That was amazing. I kept waiting for the shot to see whether he got into the wall at all, but I mean, that's just perfect. The inside wall opens up and he slides right into that little hole and the car stops. It's hard to believe he spun coming out of turn 2 and ends up almost all the way at the end of the backstretch against the wall. That's how far that car slid.
Well, believe it or not, we're under caution at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Carl Edwards is the race leader, 77 laps to go.
So let me get this straight. You drive over 180 miles per hour every weekend. You've been involved in over 100 accidents, and you've totaled your car 19 times?
State Farm is proud to insure safety advocate and NASCAR driver Jeff Burton.
His personal car.
And safe drivers everywhere. Call an agent today.
If you don't mind signing here and here. Oh, and if you can just sign up here somewhere.
How about Zach? Oh, yeah. Very proud of him. Really? No, I thought he did well. I thought you both did great today. Thank you. I just thought... Hey, Zach, how you doing? Good. Hey, Zach. Oh. Oh.
When we set out to build an entirely new type of motorcycle, we looked everywhere for inspiration, except to convention. The 113 cubic inch fuel-injected Star Roadliner. We build it, you make it your own. Exclusively at your Yamaha dealer. For a limited time, get special low financing on a Star Roadliner or Stratoliner.
Banquet 400 this weekend. What's on your mind? I'm looking for a top 5 finish. Wow, look at that Banquet pot pie. Can I have one?
Easy, Tony. You have to be faster than that.
Don't be so sure. I'm pretty fast.
Well, so are Banquet pot pies.
Banquet pot pies are a complete meal in minutes with a golden flaky crust, tender meats, vegetables, and a creamy sauce.
Who took the...
Told you I was fast.
Banquet pot pies. Oven baked taste from the microwave in just 4 minutes.
You see a fork?
Let's kick back for the moment. Toss all your worries in the air, 'cause you'll forget them when you're there. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go of the day. Go out back tonight. But the steak is thick and juicy. The shrimp is grilled and sweet. The chicken, tender. Your only worry is which to choose.
Let's go out back tonight.
Tonight, let go.
Life will still be there tomorrow.
Go out back. Next Friday night on TNT.
Good morning, Charlie.
I hope you're ready for your next assignment.
When there's only one chance to get it right, they're the ones to call. Charlie's Angels, next Friday night at 9, TNT.
We're getting ready to go back to green. We had one stretch of 56 green flag laps. That's the only stretch of more than 10 green flag laps consecutively. We've gone 2 laps, 8 laps, 3 laps, 8 laps, 2 laps, 4 laps, 3 laps, and a bunch of cautions, 8 of them so far. 75 laps to go. We'll try it again. Kevin Harvick came to pit road, got himself 4 fresh tires.
Green, green, green.
He's at the end of that inside lane in the 33 car. Edwards is the race leader.
The first 3 cars are going to clear Wimmer.
Edwards, Kenseth, Kyle Busch. Kenseth was really good on that long green flag run and did it on old tires.
Yeah, these 2 cars in the front have not been, I don't think, since they dropped the green flag, on the same tires, on equal tires. This is the first time during the race that each of them have the same amount of laps on their tires, because when Kenseth was really out front, he had an extra 35 laps on his tires. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out on equal stuff.
Kyle Busch runs third in that 5 car.
guys are all, first 3 cars are running real even, running almost exactly the same line. 17 pulls up a little bit on Edwards. Kent is right behind him now.
Update on 17 from Matt.
His tires look great, Bill, after that long run. Robbie Reiser's Nextel Cup crew chief was down looking at them, as well as a tire specialist from his 17 Nextel team. You know, he says the car is a little bit tight in traffic, but not bad at all. Meanwhile, the car right behind him, as he's trying to put a move on his teammate, the 5 of Kyle Busch, said his car was tight. On a scale of 1 to 10, about a 3. They made some adjustments for that on his last stop.
Thanks, Matt. A lot of guys down there looking at those tires that came off the 17.
Really, not a lot of people, Bill. From the Roush Racing organization, really just Robbie Reiser. Okay. And then they went from the 17 on down pit road to look at what some other teams had that came off their cars. But that was pretty much it.
Thanks. Kenseth has been in 18 Busch races this year and has led in 14 of them, including tonight.
I'll tell you what, if Carl Edwards could just keep that car where he's running, he's gonna be tough to pass.
He's gonna be tough to pass, and I think you saw right there, you saw Kenseth go up and run in the middle of the racetrack just to see what it was like, because he knows if Carl keeps protecting that bottom line, he's not going to be able to go around him that way. He's going to have to find another way, and that's the one thing about these 2 cars as we watch them in the first part of the run, or the first part of the race. They're running identical grooves, and that's the one strange thing about racing, I guess. If somebody's in your way, you can't get around them, dude. So you see Matt's already experimenting with going up the racetrack a little bit.
And lost ground doing it.
He lost ground on the previous lap, but, you know, eventually if it sticks up there a couple of laps, he makes a little ground if you see it. He loses it instant or right at the exit of the corner, but by the end of the straightaway, he seems to close back up. So he's getting a good, strong run up off the corner by running high through 3 and 4. It's just not translating right now while everybody's on pretty cool tires or pretty fresh tires.
Leaders stopped on lap 96. We're on 133 right now, but 23 of those roughly 37 laps have all been under caution. Update on Todd Cleaver from Marty.
I do, Bill. I just want to talk about what an impressive run it's been for this young man tonight. You know, he's kept it up in the top 10, top 5. A lot of times you see young guys get into the top 10 and they'll fall out. Todd has progressively gone forward. And think about what he's gone through this week. For the last year, he thought he was going to be the next driver of the 6 Nextel Cup Series car, was going to be the man to replace Mark Martin. Found out this week that's no longer the case. He's going to be staying in the Busch Series for Roush Racing this year. So he was pretty devastated by that news. Certainly driving with a purpose and a point to prove tonight as well, guys.
Yeah, I would think he's highly motivated, Marty.
I would say he's definitely highly motivated. And Jack Roush has been in the pit all night long, supporting him, trying to give him as much encouragement as he can. Has been on the radio with the young man, but he has been very impressive tonight, even though Paul Menard's going to pass him right here.
Menard gets the spot, and now the 64 McMurray's going to try and take that spot, Alan.
Yeah, pretty nice run for Jamie so far tonight, Bill. He told me before the start of the race he expected to fall back in the opening run of the race. You have to start the race on the same tires you qualify on because it's an impound race in the Busch Series. So they purposefully took the worst set of tires they felt like from those that they practiced and put them on the car to qualify, figuring they'd be on the car the shortest period of time in the race. McMurray has moved up nicely after he lost some track position earlier, and he is back to 5th position. Marty?
And we were giving Todd Cleaver all this love, Alan. He has now had to switch ignition boxes. He has a battery problem in that 06 car. He did go to the backup box while we were talking about him, but losing voltage, he's going to have to come to pit road. Obviously, they're having electrical problems on the 06 car. He was running 4th a second ago. Now he's looking at falling out of the top 10, Bill.
Good job, Marty.
Might be a plug wire or something.
Yeah, and when he went by that last time, it sounded like he was down on a, or there was a car that sounded like they were down a cylinder. So it could be more problems than just switching the ignition box.
So Marty put the whammy on.
Yeah, that car doesn't sound too good.
Straightaway is livened up and then it just dies out right away.
Yep, he's way down on power on the straight. He's okay in the corners.
Well, that's too bad because he was having a strong run. That's Tony Stewart going by. Sauter in the 00.
I guess they'll probably just keep him out there until he gets lapped.
Until he gets lapped. He's really got nothing to lose. You know, he's driven a great race. No matter what you say, he's driven a great race. Just like Marty and those guys were talking about him, whether they put the hex on him or the whammy on him tonight or not, he's driven a great race. It's just the best thing to do is stay and ride it out.
That's Tony Stewart in that 8 car. He's had an eventful evening, Alan.
Yeah, and just want to follow up on that, Bill. He spun back at lap 103 off turn 4. Remember, did not hit anything. They came down pit road twice under the ensuing caution flag. Changed a set of tires. Pardon me, also bent the right front fender out away from that tire. Tony only fell back to 14th at that time. Not bad. Matt?
And the 00 right behind him, Johnny Sauter. A great run he's having, rebounding. He pitted back on lap 91, and the caution came out. Got the lucky dog, and he's worked his way back through. Right now running in that 9th position, trying to lock down 10th in the championship standings this season.
Kevin Harvick trying to get that in position for that lucky dog is in a nasty pack. Well behind the race leaders. There's Harvick in that 33 car. And they thought about going 3 wide coming out of 4 last time.
He cut through the first 4 or 5 cars that were 1 lap down, but once he got to the 25 car, Ashton Lewis has held him off pretty good for about the past 6 or 7 laps.
Dave?
Pretty good rebound for him, and if they can remain, or if they can get the lucky dog and move their way up, that would be even better. A little tight on the last run, just an air pressure adjustment before fresh tires. So very good race car, as you guys have noted, still for the 33.
Thanks, Dave. Just got to catch a couple of guys. Got 57 laps or so to do it. But Carl Edwards has pulled away by more than a second. He leads Matt Kenseth, Kyle Busch, Paul Menard, and Jamie McMurray at Charlotte.
How long's he been up there?
Since his team was eliminated from the postseason.
Hit it, kid. Real fans don't hide in October, Frank. What's this team?
The Cubbies.
Ooh. I know you're a Cub fan, but you're a bigger fan of baseball. Get out of the tree. It's October. I live for this, you live for this, and the whole world lives for this. To the TV! Watch the postseason on Fox.
Some race, huh?
Oh, yeah. You should have seen it. He got just a little bit loose coming off of turn 2. And going down the backstretch, I got right up on his spoiler, and we started off into turn 3. He got loose and just lost it. It's okay. Don't worry. He walked away.
Subway Restaurants. Proud sponsor of Great Biffle and the number 16 Ford car.
Sometimes just getting to retirement seems impossible. That's where we come in. As the nation's 401k leader, the Principal offers many simple ways to plan for retirement, making it easier for you to get where you're going. The Principal Financial Group will give you an edge.
Load, haul, tow across Texas with confidence in a new Toyota Tundra. Drive, save, buy across Texas with confidence during Toyota truck season. Save over $5,300 in finance charges on any new 06 Tundra with 0 APR for 60 months. Or get $4,000 cash back on a new 06 Tundra. It's Toyota truck season in Texas. Get our best incentives now. Nothing stops a Tundra. Toyota, moving forward.
Is alimony a business expense? 91 audits.
I think it's Ebola. 902 hypochondriacs.
What if I push this?
405 user errors.
I still love what I do.
Still love what I do. Still love what I do.
Your business is your passion. It's who you are. We're passionate too about helping you make technology make a difference in your business. That's who we are. Time Warner Cable Business Class. Sharing your passion with you.
Lowe's Motor Speedway just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, and it will be packed tomorrow night. 150,000 or so will be here to watch the stars of the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series in the Bank of America 500. 5th race in the chase for the Nextel Cup. NASCAR Race Day gets your engines revving right before the race. We'll have analysis interviews live from the track. NASCAR race day, Speed, tomorrow, 5 o'clock. And our NBC coverage, 7 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow night. And don't forget, 7:20 green flag tomorrow night over on NBC. Carl Edwards trying to get his weekend off to a big start. It's Matt Kenseth by 1.2 seconds. And he's going to hurt Harvick's chances because he's going to start lapping guys again.
Yeah, he's going to catch up to, I think, O'Quinn. That 50 car is his next victim, putting cars a lap down. So, yeah, now it's a moving target. As longer this thing stays green, the tougher it is for Harvick to be the first car one lap down.
And the guys on pit road will have better numbers, but I'd say in about 10 laps or so, we'll be looking for the leaders headed for pit road. Let's set the stage for that. Do a top 10 through the field for you, Alan.
Yeah, let's talk about Carl Edwards, who is discussing with Pierre Cattell right now the air pressure adjustments he wants made to his tires for their final stop. I would say anywhere from 10 to as many as 20 laps because of all the cautions, Bill, for that stop. Matt?
And the same goes for his teammate Matt Kenseth. Now, he says his car could stand to be a little freer, especially in traffic following his teammate Carl Edwards. The biggest issue, though, is on entry. Meanwhile, the 5 of Kyle Busch, he has 2 Busch and 2 truck victories here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Has only 1 win this season. Says the car is really good. They didn't make any adjustments on their last stop. Marty?
Matt, most everybody looking about 18 laps from now, around lap 170 to make their pit stop. Paul Menard, he is extremely loose at the beginning of the run, but right now is when Menard is very good, just a little bit snug, but this is the sweet spot of his run, if you will. Alan?
Jamie McMurray has had a nice run for himself. He is expected to pit around lap 159. He says this race car has been a great relief for him after the struggle his Cup season has been. He's up to 5th. Marty?
Earlier on, Alan, about the struggles Clint Boyer has had here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. In fact, he has 3 straight finishes of 32nd or worse. Well on his way to ridding himself of that problem tonight. Running 6th right now. Car's starting to get a little too tight. Won't turn like he would like. Alan?
Very nice recovery for Denny Hamlin and the Joe Gibbs Racing 20 tonight. Remember, they were caught up and had some damage at lap 22 when Jimmy Johnson crashed. Had to make an extra pit stop. Went back to 33rd at the time. You can see they moved well back up into the top 10. Matt?
Johnny Sauter in the 00 has leveled off in the 8th spot now. Working on a top 10, something he hasn't done since Martinsville back in July. Said the car was loose on exit, but his biggest issue a little earlier was it was just too snug. Wouldn't cut the way he needed it to, Dave.
Hey, Matt, Casey Mears cannot go 75 laps on fuel, though crew chief Brad Parrott wishes he could. They were going to try to make it and save fuel and do all that. They think they're about 10 to 12 laps short, so you'll see him on pit road again, but a very fast race car. Alan?
And rounding out the top 10 is Tony Stewart driving the Dale Earnhardt Incorporated 8 here in Charlotte tonight. Still got a little bit of smoke coming off the right side of that car when he goes down into the corner. Right there, you see it? Trying to keep an eye on that. He had that right front fender rubbing on the tire earlier. They're watching it carefully down here.
Thank you, gentlemen. That's a top 10 through the field. There are 18 cars scored on the lead lap. Ducking a break here, get back for pit stops. Carl Edwards leads Kenseth, Busch, Menard, and McMurray with 44 to go.
Pressure, enemy of engines. Enemy of pressure, Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic, with adaptive molecules that continually join forces to help conquer pressure. Not just oil, Pennzoil.
Out of turn 4, they head toward the white flag. Yarbrough tucked in there, waiting to make a move.
Tail breaks inside, not in the fence. Tail goes low and gets loose. He overcorrects. They battle for position. They collide. They hit the wall in turn number 3 and slide toward the infield.
And Richard Petty will take the checkered flag.
Hang on. It appears we have a fight on the infield. Crew members and officials jump in. Promotions are running hot as events on the last lap have spiraled out of control.
If I hadn't seen it, I wouldn't believe it.
So let it go for a moment. Let your worries
worries drift away, 'cause here we're living for today. Let's go out back tonight.
Let go of the day. Go out back tonight, where fresh salmon is grilled moist and tender, and the steaks are thick and juicy. Your only worry is which to choose.
Let's go out back tonight.
Tonight, let go.
Life will still be there tomorrow.
Go out back.
He left the core behind.
Take the truck!
But he was called back into action.
You have multiple assailants. They have a hostage. It's my wife.
John Cena is the Marine. Rated PG-13. Now playing only in theaters.
Never buy a used car without a Carfax Vehicle History Report. Ask your dealer or go to Carfax.com.
Kate Miller, mother of two, just one of the millions of Law & Order fans. Favorite part of the show? The verdict. Thinks Detective Green is the best detective and the cutest. Plans her day so she's ready to watch Law & Order on TNT. This is Kate Miller's story. Law & Order is her show. TNT is her network. See the best Lenny episodes Mondays and Tuesdays all month long. TNT. Delicious.
NASCAR Busch Series racing from Lowe's Motor Speedway, presented by Outback Steakhouse, is brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. Let go of the day and see what's on the grill at Outback tonight. Let go, go Outback by State Farm. Great service and great rates. You can get it all from State Farm. And by Sony, the official high-definition television of NASCAR on TNT. 162 laps are complete, 38 to go. Carl Edwards continues to lead Matt Kenseth by about a second. Kyle Busch is more than 5 seconds behind the race leader. And we are rapidly approaching pit stops. Kevin Harvick, who runs in the 20th position, the third car 1 lap down, pitted on lap 124, so he's going to have a small cushion there. Where he'll put himself in a fairly decent position, maybe to catch a break.
Yeah, he's got, what, 15 or 20 laps, and he can stay out longer than everybody else, which will put him on the lead lap, which, if a caution then comes out, he's back in business.
Harvick.
But it's not a whole lot of time left in the race, but...
And plus, he has to finish 32 points ahead of Carl Edwards, who just happens to be the race leader. Harvick trying to clinch the championship tonight. There's Edwards in the 60. He's the race leader.
And now he's putting guys down. I mean, that's Stacy Compton in 16th. He's putting a lap down. There's Michael Waltrip. Going to be putting a lap down.
Kenny Wallace in that 22 car is already 2 laps down. So Edwards working his way through traffic. And we were able to hear from him during the red flag. He just has one of those cars, Kyle, that drivers dream about.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he said. He said we're out running. There's just plenty of grip. There's been something there, and he's just not really changed anything. And he didn't want to say flat out, no, we're not going to change anything else. We're just going to put tires on it. But basically, that's what he was implying.
Now the question is, will somebody not even bother to put tires on?
You know, it depends on what the tire wear was. You know, obviously, some places we run, you can do that. This has not been a place historically in the past that you want to be out there with more than that to refuel with a set of tires with a full run on them. But man, as good as the 17 car did early in the day, it could be a possibility.
Kyle Busch on pit road. Matt
making his way down to his team. He said it sort of rolls over on the front and just sort of bogs down. He says the car is tight all the way through the center of the corner. They were talking about making a wedge adjustment as well as trying to fix this race car. There was significant air pressure change. We're about another 4 to 5 laps away from the 17 of Matt Kenseth making his final stop as well. Waiting on the 5. Finally, he is away.
Well, that won't help him.
That was a long pit stop.
Over 17 seconds for Kyle.
You know, I'm going to say something, Bill. You said you're talking about just gassing and going.
Yes.
You know, if it gets down to 15, 20 laps to go, 25 laps to go, you got to take into account what the 17 car did earlier on 35 lap tires, and that's a distinct possibility that somebody like that, somebody will try it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean? There should be somebody that would try it.
Dave?
Jason Leffler happy to get 4 fresh tires and a wedge and track bar adjustment. That car had tightened up badly on him. It's going to be a little slow on the right side there. Long time on pit road now for Leffler. But he's been running good all night, guys.
Yeah, this is where you can really run into trouble. You're coming in for that last pit stop, and everything has to be perfect. You have to get down pit road without speeding. Everybody's got to do their job, make a good stop, and then like Kyle said, somebody's going to come in and just take gas or make a short pit stop, and if it works out, smoke all these guys.
Yeah, exactly, and they're going to look like heroes when the day's over with.
Just 30 to go. Boy, Carl Edwards working his way to pit road. There he is. So he gives up the lead. 29 to go when he hits his stall.
All the way down.
Matt Kenseth also on pit road. He's coming for you, Matt.
And he is going to hit his pit stall before his teammate in the 60. Now Matt Kenseth slides to a stop. Says the car was significantly tighter on this pass run. Car stalled, refired, air pressure change this time. AB.
Carl Edwards reminded about 4 times not to speed coming down pit road and throw the race away there. Good smooth stop so far. Little trouble on the left rear, and he's away. Marty.
Alan, both Paul Menard and Clint Boyer will come to pit road this time. Menard running in the 3rd position when he came to pit road to the car. Just a little bit too snug for him. Late in the run, wondered where they were on fuel. Now, a lot of the guys who have already pitted are only taking on 2 tires. Menard will take on 4 tires, however. Clint Boyer further down pit road, he'll take on just 2 tires. The car for Boyer a little bit too tight. They go up a half round on the track bar, just a little bit to help him late in the run, and the 2-tire stop will get him off pit road a little quicker. Alan?
Denny Hamlin on pit road, pitting from 8th position. Going to get, was going to be a 4-tire stop. Now it's going to be a 2-tire stop on the 20 for Denny Hamlin. Jamie McMurray will come down pit road as there is a tire that's gotten away from one team and is sitting out on the grass. He passes that safely. McMurray's going to come in. They have made the call for 4 tires on the 64 car. Tony Stewart will be in the 8 car this lap.
And that tire in the grass is from the 11 team of Paul Menard.
That's a pass-through penalty, and he is coming down pit lane as we speak. And we just talked about it. All you got to do is make 1 mistake, and that's it.
A 200-lap race, and 1 mistake on pit road takes you completely out of the race.
So Kyle
Menard
Busch
had a great race.
Yep, Kyle Busch had a good race going, had a 17+ second pit stop. Now Menard has to go make the pass-through penalty for the loose tire. Alan?
Well, so far, Tony Stewart is close to accomplishing one main goal he wanted to tonight, which was to get to the finish of this thing in one piece. Remember, he had that awful crash back in the race here in May. 4-tire change and a chassis adjustment for Tony Stewart on the 8 car for the DEI team tonight.
$17 and change for Tony.
Right now, that car is our leader. Casey Mears in the 42 car. Johnny Sauter is 2nd.
A lot of guys holding their breath right now. I think Casey Mears won a fuel mileage.
Yeah, well, I was just saying, he's got a 20+ second lead on a lot of these guys already. So he's the guy that's got to come down and get enough fuel, Kyle, just to make it to the finish. Yeah, splash and go.
He may be the guy that's going to play the splash and go card, and he's put himself in the position. You know, I think earlier the pit call they made kind of took him out of it. This position kind of puts him back into it.
Johnny Sauter on pit road, Matt.
And Bill, KP, and Wally were talking about some guys maybe looking at doing fuel only, and that is exactly what Johnny Sauter's team looking at. 3, 4, almost 5 seconds full of fuel. 23 laps to go. He's away.
And Johnny's one of those cars that's running good enough. He's been running up in the top 10 for most of this race. So he's fast enough that this is really going to be, I think, an advantage for him. And we'll see what these guys do here in the 42 car. But I got to expect them to do the same thing. They're not going to stop and change tires.
And that's definitely what Harvick will do.
Yeah.
Dave?
So they haven't wavered from the 10 to 12 laps short for Casey Mears, so that's probably about 10 laps from now that he'll be in. And, you know, Casey responding back and didn't sound like in code. They were asking him to save fuel early in this run, but then Todd radioed that they would be short. So we expect him to be on pit road, probably 2 right side tires. But again, they gambled in May. They almost made it. Not quite.
Dave, what gear are they running right now?
Long gears, Wally, long gears.
He's only going to need a couple of seconds of fuel.
I would think so. If they have 10 more laps, I would think 2 seconds, 3 seconds is going to be enough.
You saw the 00 take what, 4.7. We saw Kyle Busch's pit stop be 17 or 18 seconds long, and now we're looking at a pit stop on stop time on pit road that may be 2.5, maybe 3 seconds, because they just need a splash to get going.
Remember, they have those slower fuel cans in the Busch series, so it takes just a tick longer to get the fuel in there.
Well, maybe Sauter didn't get enough in. We'll see there too. If you're coming in just for fuel, though, you got to be careful on your pit road speed, because when you're that close, you think you've got them beat, and you're trying to win this race, and that's where you make a mistake a lot of times.
2 things: you got to be careful on the pit road speed, and you can't slide those tires and flat spot them, because there's nothing worse than having to go back out there with 4 tires that are flat spotted because you made a mistake on pit road.
That's Matt Kenseth in the 17. He's currently 8th, trying to get back on the lead lap. Mears is the race leader. So this is Kenseth trying to get back on the lead lap.
And Mears doesn't want to make it easy for Matt if he can help it. I mean, he knows that he lets the 17 car go. He's going to watch the 17 car drive off into the distance, which is going to hurt him later when he's got to pit. So he's got to run hard and not be such a nice guy and let the 17 clean. You know, a clean pass.
Yeah, no, he needs to hold them up if he can, you know, and he's not holding them up, believe me. They're running hard here.
Crash. Jamie McMurray. Caution is out, field is frozen.
Okay, everything we were talking about, just forget it.
Everything you're talking about, forget, except for this. Matt Kenseth is the lucky dog.
Right. Yeah.
So he's still in the race and still has an opportunity here.
And we'll wait for that officially, but if Kenseth is the lucky dog, he would come around and be just the 7th car on the lead lap. And Kenseth is the lucky dog.
Just got loose underneath Musgrave there in the 14 car. And too bad, because Jamie had another good run going.
And the luckiest guy here tonight is Ted Musgrave.
Yeah. I mean, there's only going to be 7 cars on the lead lap, and a couple of those guys, Michael Waltrip, Danny O'Quinn, Stacy Compton, I mean.
But they haven't pitted. They've got to pit, which moves Carl Edwards and Matt Kenseth back to the 1 and 2 position again. So it's the same race it was 50 laps ago.
Unless this caution is long enough that Mears stays out.
I don't think they have.
I don't think there's a gear long enough or a caution long enough. That answers that question.
Yeah. Hey, Dave. Bet he's taking tires now, Dave.
He is, but the question is 2 or 4. If they take 2, they can do it very quickly on the fuel because they don't need much. He's going to get a wedge adjustment just a tick tight on the car. How about no tires? And the 32 car as well, Dave Blaney, they are going to change right side tires for him. So Mears choosing none. The 32 of Dave Blaney, they're going to take 4 actually now and fill him fuel, make it to the end of the race.
I think the 42 kind of surprises me that he didn't take tires.
Surprised me.
But at the same time, we saw he was running right in between the 60 and the 17 and really holding the 17 up possibly a little bit, but it puts him on the 17's bumper now. So maybe he thinks he's in a position that he can get around, or puts him in a position to be behind the 90 in that crowd.
Matt Kenseth, the lucky dog. Look out for that debris back there, Matt. Well, 16 to go. We'll sort out the running order when we come back to Charlotte.
Out of Trace Wednesdays, now one of the biggest shows on television.
He's been gone for nearly 2 hours.
Has a night all its own.
Here we go.
4 back-to-back episodes every Wednesday night.
Help us find the girl, we will help you.
Join the search at 7, 8, 9, and 10.
Why don't you tell us what really happened?
You are a liar! The missing will be found. It's over. Without a Trace Wednesdays. 4 back-to-back episodes starting at 7. Only on TNT.
Go to NASCAR.com during the race to follow every move of your favorite driver with Track Pass and Race Day Scanner. And for more exclusive content from NASCAR.com, go to AOL.com/sports.
What do NASCAR AutoZone Elite Division fans, Twin Falls, Idaho, and Nashville, Tennessee have in common? The same thing that connects fans in South Boston, Virginia with the diehards at Altamont, California. They may be separated by geography, but they're connected by a passion for racing. From all of us at the NASCAR AutoZone Elite Division to all of you in Greenville and Irwindale or Monroe and all points in between.
Every year, our football team has a different personality. Some are built around the run, some the pass. But they're all dedicated to teamwork and winning, just like University Federal Credit Union. Their employee team follows a winning game plan that's evolved over 70 years. It's built around providing their members exceptional products and services to reach their goals and realize their dreams. So if you want to be part of 2 winning teams, cheer for the Horns and join UFCU, where you'll find a winning financial game plan.
University Federal Credit Union. Live, learn, prosper.
Really fresh, totally new, and inspiring looks are all more affordable than ever. It's the sale of the season at Star Furniture. The lowest sale prices of the entire season. Huge discounts on everything. And just when you thought it couldn't get any better, get the best interest-free financing guaranteed. So when you fall in love with the furniture, you'll really fall in love with the prices. Saturday's the day, the start of the sale of the season. Star Furniture. Different by design.
Still under caution here at the Lowe Motor Speedway. The action here in Charlotte continues tomorrow night over on NBC, the Bank of America 500. 5th race in the chase for the Nextel Cup. Our coverage kicks off at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, 7:20 green flag tomorrow night. So be with us at 7 o'clock tomorrow night over on NBC. Field's gotten the 1 to go. An update from Dave.
And you might have wondered why he took no tires on that last stop. They talked about it, crew chief Brad Parrott and Casey Mears. They reasoned and they agreed together that hot tires, tires that are not cooled and put on the race car without any laps on them, and a almost empty fuel tank, just a few seconds of gas there, are the way to go here. That's the fast race car. That's why they did that. What do you think, Kyle?
I'm not sure about that. But he knows his car. Okay, we're not going to sit up here and second guess these guys. They know their car. Obviously, he had a fast car. He was running in between the 60 and the 17, and I have to correct myself on this. I said the 60 and the 17 would be up front. The 17 was the lucky dog. He's supposed to go the tail end of the longest line.
But regardless, you're in the middle of this mess right here. Whether you're on cold tires, hot tires, whatever, it's going to be tough.
There you see Mears, the 42. He is the race leader, but not at the front of that line. Alan.
Well, here's what Carl Edwards can't understand from the cockpit of his race car and what his crew chief Pierre Cattell is trying to get explained to him from down here. If Carl stayed on the racetrack and Casey Mears came down pit road, Casey would have had to have stopped at the end of pit road until the cars on the racetrack filed past him and then joined in at the tail of the line. So they want to know how come Casey stopped and was able to get in front of them on the racetrack for this restart.
Do you have the answer to that, Alan?
No, I'd like somebody to call that one. I mean, that Kyle and Wally, that is how it works. When you come down pit road, you're supposed to fall in at the end of the line of the cars that are on the racetrack, right?
That's right, under yellow, yeah.
Right, so that's what they can't understand down here is how a guy that pitted gets to line up in front of them when they were on the lead lap when the yellow came out. Yeah, they were a mile and a half behind, but they were on the lead lap, and the pace car did pick up Casey Mears as the leader, so they're trying to figure out how he was able to get past that stoplight at the end of pit road and get in front of them on the racetrack.
Is it a stoplight, Alan, or is there a guy down there with a paddle?
They had the big red and green light down here, yeah.
Okay.
So here's Mears. Coming down pit road.
And we're looking for that light, and there's that light. See that red light there blinking?
That's red.
That's red.
And they have turned the lights back on. Yeah, NASCAR's looking at it.
Yeah, they're trying to sort this out. That's why they haven't gone back to green.
Okay, well, we'll work on this. Check with Marty.
Yeah, while we let NASCAR sort that out, we'll talk to Jamie McMurray. And oddly enough, you and I were talking today about how you've been great for the 3/4 of a race, and the last quarter just never seemed to go your way. What happened?
Just one of the lap cars pointed me to the inside, and you know, he gave me enough room. I just didn't have a lot, and when I went underneath him, I just got really loose. I ran out of talent apparently as he got on my outside quarter. I just couldn't hang on to it. We'd been tight fairly pretty much all night. I kept freeing the car up, and the very last run we got it to where I was kind of on the edge, and then when you add a car on your outside, I just couldn't hang on.
Glad to see you're okay.
Thank you.
Bill?
Thanks, Marty. It's been a tough year for Jamie McMurray. Okay, there's McMurray again, or Mears leaving pit road, and there it's green.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah,
that's not enough distance to make any difference.
No, and I don't know how he ends up in front of him. You got me on that one, because technically, just like they say, if he comes down pit road, he should be back behind him. If we looked at the scoring monitor, he should be, the 60 car should be leading the race. Everybody else should be behind him. Because the 60 car was the last car, was the car that was the tail end of the lead lap right in front of him on the racetrack when the caution come out.
But knowing that, shouldn't you, if you knew that was going to happen, then you should have stopped to put tires on.
Unless, the only unless comes is if Carl just loafed around the racetrack. Once the caution come out, if he just kind of took his time to get around the racetrack, then they had time to come in and out maybe. I don't know.
They're coming to get the green, we think, Dave.
Okay, Bill, we're going to let Brad Parrott look real quick. What do you think, Brad? Did you guys make it or not?
Well, you know, we made the pit stop, and the light was maybe green, maybe red. NASCAR, you know, it's showing red there, but then they turn the light on green right after us. So I don't understand how they can turn it on right after we pass the line. They messed up. They're paying for it. We'll see. We're the leader right now. We're going to win this race.
So in your opinion, Brad, it looks like they intended to turn it on for you, but just did it a little late?
Well, without a doubt. I mean, you know, it's their call. You know, they call these races more than I call these races, and whatever they decide is what we'll stick with, and we'll go from there. But the Texaco Howland Dodge has done great tonight. This whole crew has done great, and this is Casey's last race with us, so we're real proud of the job he's done. We messed up on the first pit stop and didn't get it full, and we paid the price, but it's Friday the 13th, isn't it?
Yes, it still is. And it gave us a little clue there, guys. Early on, they didn't get the car full of fuel, and that was one of the reasons why their strategy changed. And we'll see if their strategy works out now. Actually, you guys got pretty lucky with that being out in the lead, and then the caution came out.
Well, you know, that was the strategy we played, and, you know, you win these races on strategies. And Dan Weldon, I know you're watching. I wish you were in this car, too, one day.
It's a nice little promo right there for a future driver, perhaps.
All right, now wait a minute. Are we okay? Now we're coming to 10 to go.
Right.
Which means they're going to go single file.
But if you go back and show the car leaving pit road. Right. Okay. And you see the light. The light's red, green, light, red, green. You see the light on the left flicking. Okay. The light on the left. The light on the left. If we look at this, if you see the light, it's red, green, green, red, green, red. See the one on the left? That means there's cars passing a certain point on the racetrack, which tells them when to turn the light back to green. Okay. So there were still cars pretty close wherever that cutoff point is. There were still cars pretty close, which was making that light flick red, green, the one on the left. You're not supposed to leave pit road until the one on the right goes green. Yes. I don't care if it's a little green or a little red. It's either red or green, and that's the way the inspection station is. That's the way they send the cars to inspection. Is green means go, red means stop. He was supposed to stop.
So they're going to stop. They should stop the race and get this figured out, which is what they're doing.
Yep. And we're told they will stop the field here. Pit road is closed. I just don't see how Mears can be in front
of the 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't be. You can't be. I don't understand it either.
Ten laps to go as of right now. We're trying to sort out a scoring situation involving the 42 car.
It almost appears that the 60 car or the 42 car pitted came off of pit road, and the pace car picked him up, and the 60 car hadn't made the full lap back around the racetrack because he was at the tail end of the lead lap to be picked up by the pace car. It's like the pace car picked up the wrong car.
Yeah, because they were only in the pits for, you know, what,
2.7 seconds.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I mean, hardly
so if
anything.
they're maintaining the speed, that may have been it.
It's almost like the pace car picked up the 42 when he left the end of pit road down here, and the other cars were still passing that point, so they just picked up the wrong person. So everybody lined up accordingly.
Okay, we'll wait for some information and check with Matt.
Well, we'll catch up with Jimmy Finning, the crew chief for Matt Kenseth. So what is going on, Jim?
I don't think anybody's got a clue, to tell you the truth. Yeah, they don't know what's going on because the 60 didn't pit, the 42 did pit. So, like I say, you know, they ain't got a clue.
And there you have it, Bill.
Jimmy's not happy. He knows his guy got the lucky dog. Matt Kenseth currently 7th in the scoring that we're looking at.
It should be easy to go back, especially with electronic scoring, to see time spent on pit road, time, total elapsed time from, even if you take lap 188, 187, or 188, 189, and 190, and do the total time for 3 laps and compare them to each other, there's got to be a path somewhere.
Work on that, would you?
I will work on it, man.
Alan?
We were going to do the equal time thing here, Bill. We heard from Brad Parrott earlier. Okay, Pierre Cattell, what's your stance here and what's your argument with the officials over the way the cars are lined up on the track now?
Well, I'm just waiting for NASCAR to make the right decision here. I mean, it's hard to come down pit road and pit and go back out in front of in front of the leader. That doesn't make any sense. And plus the blend line wasn't observed, and you didn't fall in the longest, the continuous of the longest line when you come back on the track. So it's not really a big decision here. They're just going to sort it all out now that it's 10 to go, line everybody up, because it needs to be a single file restart. So we'll see how it goes from here.
I heard both you and your driver commend NASCAR for stopping the race, though.
Yeah, they're reviewing it all, and we're going to see what NASCAR's got to say about it, but we'll be all right.
All right, thanks, PK. They both were very happy that NASCAR stopped the race and stopped running laps out on both them trying to race for the win in case this decision somehow doesn't go their way, and also the fans watching this thing who paid their money to see a finish and not one behind the pace car.
Right.
Was the 42 car the only car that came down pit road?
We're checking on that now. Todd Cleaver did some work on his car. Daniel Quinn came down pit road. Blaney.
Deals like this, I am glad though they went to the 10-lap deal, because this is you always set yourself up for a wreck when you restart with 11 laps to go or 12 laps to go in a deal like this.
Yeah, no, they made a good call by letting it get to the 10 laps. Now we're back into the single file with the lead lap cars here, and everybody's in the right position.
Okay, there's the 42.
The 60 is the last car in this line on the track. So you can see the red light flashing on the right side. There's Mears leaving pit road.
Well, it went green, and it went green.
But he still has to fall in behind.
Show that. Can you replay that one more time? If you can replay that one thing one more time, you'll see the light on the corner like I was talking about. See, as the cars pass the start-finish line, the light's flicking. Red, green, red, green. And you see the light. It's red. You see the light to the left. You see the light to the left. I can't work the telestrator. You see the light to the left right there. It's red. It's green. It's red. It's green. These cars are passing the cutoff point right here. There's a line in the racetrack that's a cutoff point that transfers to that. That's what the old paddle guy used to look at.
Right.
You had to beat a guy to a certain point. When the last car passed that went green. He was past that line. But no matter what, he should have blended to the longest line.
Okay, they've said the 60 is the race leader. And obviously, Brad's not happy.
But he's got no argument.
Right, because he's got no argument at the end of that
You have to fall in. If you come down, you have to fall in at the tail end of the longest line. In the old days when we had a paddle guy, it makes no difference. It makes no difference. The lights mean what they do. Red means stop, green means go. He passed. Not only did he run past the red light when you really look at it. He was past the point of no return. He blended in the middle of the pack. So those are two things that should be wrong.
So Carl Edwards will be the race leader. Mears will be second. That's car owner Jack Roush. Owns the cars of Edwards and Kenseth and others. Alan.
Let's get a reaction here from Jack, who's been watching all this unfold. Feel better now?
Well, I feel better, but, you know, I didn't come down here because the thing that happened was obvious. You know, there was a continuous line of cars. The cars came down pit road and come out behind. I couldn't have imagined it would take 10 laps to get that straightened out, but I guess I just didn't understand how complicated it was.
He's so
Dave?
subtle.
Well, we saw Brad Parrott react there, and did they make the right call here?
Oh, no, Jack must have put his hat on backwards or something. I don't know. But, you know, he's got a way of words with NASCAR sometimes, but NASCAR makes all the calls. You know, we believe in their call, and we'll go with what we got to go with.
Our continuing question would be, though, if y'all came down pit road and Carl Edwards did not, how could you come out ahead of him?
Friday the 13th, luck of the draw, I guess. You know,
you're working it here.
Hey, I'm here to win races, okay? That's why Chip hired myself and the rest of these guys here, and we're having fun with this Texaco Havoline Dodge, and 10 laps to go, and remember Carl was behind me in May, so he better hope his bumper is hard enough. This is Casey's last Busch race with the Texaco Havoline Dodge, so I don't know what's going to happen.
And that car's fast.
Real fast.
Well, we'll see what happens. Thanks, Brad.
Thanks, Dave. You know who this really hurt? It's Harvick. Because if they go to a single file restart, he's not going to have a chance to race his way back onto the lead lap.
No, but I think he'd be pretty happy, really, with the 12th place finish, what's gone on tonight.
When he came out of the pits, remember, he was 35th. Yeah. And by some miracle of God here, he's worked his way back to 12th, believe me.
I think it's the miracle of the guys that build that car.
That's it. He's worked his way back to 12th, which is a phenomenal effort for them.
It is going to be Edwards, Mears, Danny O'Quinn, Dave Blaney, Stacy Compton, Michael Waltrip, and Matt Kenseth.
But I'm still going to say I'm not sure that Kenseth should be in that position because he got the lucky dog. He just received the lucky dog.
Right.
So he should be the last car on the lead lap.
He should be the last car on the lead lap. Matt should be the last car on,
and that's what Jimmy Fennick is trying to figure out where his guy's supposed to be.
Even though they've got him positioned as 7th, and maybe it works different than the last 10 laps, and I don't understand that. But technically, the way they tell us in the driver's meeting and the way they tell us and everything, once you get the lucky dog, it's the tail end of the longest line. Now, this is the lucky dog before the last 10 laps, and we're inside the last 10 laps.
Yeah, because there is no lucky dog inside of 10 to go.
Exactly. So I don't know exactly how those rules work or where his position should be.
Well, some of these cars that are right now, there are 11 cars scored on the lead lap. Some of them will be at the tail end. Well, no, maybe not. Maybe not. Now they won't be. Because that's the running order that we've been told from NASCAR. Edwards, Mears, O'Quinn, Blaney in the 32, Compton, then Michael Waltrip. Kyle Busch has scored on the lead lap. Johnny Sauter on the lead lap. Clint Boyer on the lead lap. And Denny Hamlin on the lead lap. So the 17 should be behind. There's only going to be one line.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should be the last car on the lead lap.
If that's the way the lucky dog works under this circumstances. I'm not sure I've ever seen us get down to a point where you get a lucky dog with 10 or 15 laps.
But even if he went to the tail end, the longest line,
it should be,
and the yellow came out, and it was 10 to go, he would move up, I would think.
I would think he would move up too. That's what I'm saying. So I would think he should be behind Hamlin, the last car.
Exactly.
Okay,
and that's how it works.
Yeah, and that should be the way it is. Now on most restarts, it's the tail end of the longest line, but now we have one continuous line, so it throws everything into disarray.
So he's the tail end of all the cars on the lead lap. Well, we'll see where he is.
I don't see him.
He might have left. He needs a good night's sleep. He's got a 500-mile race tomorrow.
Here, Jeremy. He's way back there.
Yeah.
He's about 4 or 5 cars from the end there.
Okay.
And I'm going to say this. I'm not sure that's a proper call in this situation. Okay. I would have to question that a little bit because they had a scoring snafu that let him ride down to 10 laps. So now, any other time, he would be the tail end of the longest line on a double file restart.
Right.
So he wouldn't be 50 cars back.
Right.
He would only be 15 cars back at the most. Yeah. So he would have an opportunity.
So he's really being penalized now.
He's being penalized now for getting the lucky dog because now he's being sent all the way to the back.
Exactly right.
I would argue that call a little bit. And I'm sure Jimmy was. You know, because he's the tail end behind everybody, and I'm not sure that he should be penalized. I think under this circumstances he should be behind the last car in the lead lap.
I agree with you.
But that's just Kyle Petty's opinion, and that's why I'm in the booth with you.
No, that's the right. That's actually the right way to go. I mean, what's the use?
Well, we're going to green now. Be 8 to go when they take the green flag. Single file restart. Edwards is the leader. Mears is second. You can tell it's Friday the 13th.
This is where it's going to matter right here. Casey Mears got a really good restart.
Theory holds up.
Let's see whose car's better right here. Pretty even through 3 and 4.
Hey, Casey's driving it like it's the last time he's ever going to set in a race car for his lifetime.
Got a good run there.
He's driving the wheels off of it right now.
Bobble there with the 60. That might be enough. He's going to get a little bit loose if he can get close enough to Edwards' bumper, and we got a car.
Yellow's out. Yellow is out behind you.
Leffler will do it all again. Somebody keep an eye on the pace car.
All right, now this is good for Kenseth.
This is great for Kenseth because now Kenseth does not have to be the longest car in line. He can go up to where the lead lap cars are.
Watching the 38 car here.
Goes around the high side, just gets loose.
Yeah, it was sideways on entry.
Yeah.
The bad part for Kenseth is there's only going to be 4 or 5 laps left.
Yeah, a lot of bad things came out of this.
Yeah.
But they got the right leader. So there'll be 7 cars on the lead lap. Edwards, Mears, Blaney, O'Quinn, Waltrip, Compton, Kenseth. There'll be 5 to go when they get to the line this time. Only going to be a couple left. And we might even have another caution for you. This is number 10.
If it keeps going like this, it'll be Saturday the 14th.
Kyle, tomorrow night's race will be shorter.
I don't think since they implemented some of these rules with the 10-lap rule and the lucky dog and some, that we've come down to a situation like this where somebody got the lucky dog, had to go to the end of the longest line. Right. There were a lot of things that happened here. I think tonight, for the first time from a scoring standpoint, that NASCAR will probably go back and look at it and say, okay, let's tweak this a little bit. We didn't anticipate some of these things.
And you guys will bring it up tomorrow in the drivers' meeting anyway.
It'll be brought up in the drivers' meeting. You can count on that.
Okay, under caution, Dave.
How about some of these other top 5 cars up there, Bill? The 32 of Dave Blaney has had a strong run all night. The one I am most fascinated with, actually 2, are the 99 of Michael Waltrip and the 59 of Stacy Compton. Both of those guys had trouble in that big wreck that happened early on. They both stayed on the lead lap. Actually, yeah, I don't think they ever went a lap down, repaired their race cars, and have raced back up to the front. They're taking advantage of this track position with 10 to go, or under 10 to go.
I believe they went a lap down, Dave. I think these guys stayed out when that caution came out, and that's why they got back on the lead lap.
remarkable
Is that right?
nonetheless. Well, I don't know. See, I never had 99 going a lap down, but that may have happened at some point. The main thing is they came in, they fixed their stuff. They did a really good job of staying up in the hunt of this thing.
It's been a race where strategy is really going to determine the outcome.
Or lack of.
Yes. Other than the fact that Carl Edwards has had a great race car, and so has Casey Mears. But Mears even had to work through a bizarre pit sequence where they didn't get enough fuel in the car. Pace car to pit road. Before to go when the green comes out. Matt Kenseth picked up about half a mile.
At least.
Because of that caution.
Looks like that 60 car is a little bit loose down there in 3 and 4. I think if the 42 gets up close enough on that bumper, he can make life difficult for Carl.
3 to go.
Casey's car is really strong from the center off. We saw him lag in the corner on that restart behind Carl and really get a tremendous run up off 2 and down the backstretch, and Carl had to block him.
Well, he may have enough there. He may have enough. Oh, there.
Mears and Edwards around. Caution is out. Danny O'Quinn has gone around. Matt Kenseth sneaks through.
Dave Blaney's going to win the race.
Yep.
And Kevin Harvick may end up clinching the championship. Depending on the damage to the 60 car and where he finishes.
He just got up on the outside of the 60. They were coming off of 4. The 60's got a little bit loose. Well, 42 got real loose and got in the wall and took the 60 out. But
yeah, 42. But the 60 car, that's where Wally, like you had said, the 60 car looks loose, right in that place, right there. And you see the 60, he gives him room. He gives him room. The 42 just gets up into the outside wall, bounces off, and gets in the car.
Just hooked him in the right. I mean, and you're right. Carl gave the 42 plenty of room, but it wasn't enough.
The crew of Carl Edwards.
Boy, the last couple of weeks, last lap's been pretty, or last few laps have been tough. You don't want to be leading.
There's Carl.
Tell you what, he drove a great race tonight.
He did.
He didn't get the win, but
talking to the fans.
There have been numerous guys out here tonight that have driven some great races that are not going to get credit for anything.
Yeah. You know, seeing that paint scheme, there's Casey Mears. He's upset about something or with someone. Marty's there with him.
Yeah, Casey, first of all, let's talk about the wreck. You certainly were going for the win. You took the outside lane.
Yeah, no, it's not the way I wanted it to happen, obviously. Brad Parrott did a great job. We had a better car there at the end. And, you know, Carl was doing all he could to keep it on the bottom and not give me that lane. I got the outside lane. And when I got the outside lane, he started running up the track. And I got my right sides and the stuff, and it took off. But
there's the replay.
Yeah, I just got loose off. I just got loose off and took him out, you know. I feel bad for him, but we're going for the win. You know, I mean, this is not the way we wanted to go out with the 42 car, but at least we're strong running up front. And one of Carl's guys had words for me, but then he kept walking off, so that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, who was that? I mean, what was that about?
I don't know who it was, man. He said anyway, it wasn't good. He gets upset. I like that replay. I was going to go get him anyway. Guy was talking and walking off. Anyway, it was a good day for us. I mean, I hate the way it ended. I hate it for Carl. Carl's a really good friend of mine. Last thing I want to do is take him out. But we'll figure it out. It's racing.
You'll go find him in a bit?
We got tomorrow. I'll talk to Carl. Yeah. I mean, I ain't worried about that at all.
All right, Casey, glad to see you're okay. And obviously, interesting things happening here in the final few laps, guys.
Well, you know, yeah, this is... You got to give Guy credit for going for the win and not settling for second. No. I hate it for Carl Edwards because Carl ran a great race tonight, and he deserved to win the race. You know, one of these two guys deserved to win the race. But, you know, that's what the fans come here to see. They want to see racing, and Casey Mears was going for it.
Yeah, he was going for it. And the other thing is this. You hate it for Carl. You hate it for Casey. You know what I mean? No matter what you say, you hate it for the people that work on those cars and all that stuff. But I'm going to have to give Casey Mears a tip of the hat right there. Took a lot of class to just say, hey, I got it. I tried. I did everything I could. I got up in the loose stuff. Yeah. Maybe I was forced up there a little bit. You know, the door shut a little bit. I just took him out. And that's what he said. In his words, I just took him out. I hate it for Carl. I hate it for everybody. But I'm going to tell you what, it takes a big man to stand up and say that a lot of times, because he could just as easily have jumped out of that car and said, you know, he forced me to the high side. He ran me out of room. I got no place to go. What's this all about? But, I mean, it shows that he comes from a good group, a good family. He's got a good family.
And I think you'll see the same amount of class when they interview Carl. Yeah, I mean, Carl's a good race car driver. He has fun doing it, and he understands it's a racing deal. So,
and Carl's been through this situation before this year, the Busch race at Michigan.
Yeah, he was exactly the
Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Another one he should have won. And then it got ugly, but
yeah, he wasn't quite as patient then. And Junior went to victory lane, and then Carl went to victory lane to talk to Junior. Had a long discussion. Now, Carl won 4 races last year in the Nextel Cup Series, has not been back to victory lane this year. So sometimes that frustration can come out. We're under the red flag, obviously. Cars stopped along pit road.
But he's not, like you said, he won 4 races last year. He's not been the victory lane this year.
Didn't make
Let me
the
tell you
case.
something. It doesn't make any difference.
Yeah.
He's a great race car driver.
Yeah.
And he should have already won 2 or 3 Busch races, probably a couple of Cup races this year. It's not been Carl's year. It's just like we talk about Kevin Harvick. When it's your time, it's your time. When things go good for you, they go good for you. When things go bad for you, they just go bad for you.
Okay, let's get the story from Dave Burns.
And we'll start by letting Carl see the replay, guys. If you wouldn't mind rolling it. Carl, look over here, and I know you know what happened. First of all, you okay?
Oh, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine. I think what happened, I haven't seen the replay, but I think Casey...
Guys, can you roll it? Here it goes.
He had a good run there. Oh, man. He just, that's what happens sometimes. You get on the outside of a guy and it sucks the nose around. I made a... If that had been the last lap, it would have been the coolest finish ever. Our Henkel crew did a great job. Hopefully that Ameriquest Fusion wins it, Matt Kenseth. And I saw him playing the tape of Junior and I at Michigan.
Yeah, you get wrecked leading a lot, don't you?
I was doing everything I could to keep Casey behind me. He's a great guy, a great friend of mine. I made the mistake of getting all bent out of shape and getting upset at Dale Jr. He's a heck of a guy, and I'm not going to make that mistake again. Casey's just racing as hard as he can, and I just wish it would have been the last lap. There's nothing he could do about that. We're just racing.
And he talked about you guys being very good friends, and that obviously this is not the way he wanted it to happen either.
No, Casey's a great guy, and if there's anything I've learned this year, I mean, we had a great season last season. Everything went well. About middle of the way through the season, I started getting down a little bit. Things aren't going the way I wanted them to go, but I got great sponsors, got a great team, great family. I'm just kind of turning over a new leaf, trying to have a little more fun like I used to have, and we'll start here tonight.
Hey, I guess there was an old Carl Edwards, and he's back, guys.
Just like I said.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
I mean, you know, that's the way he's
you were right. You were right.
You know, it took you all night to say that, and I've been right quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, actually, I hate to admit that.
You know, but no, I mean, you know, and that's another thing, Kyle. I mean, even if you're having a bad year, even if you're wrecked on a situation like that with Carl, at least you're running good.
Yeah.
And at least you can swallow. Like Dale Jr., last week, yeah, he wanted to win Talladega, but at least he felt good that his team was running good, and it was great to run up front.
Yeah, it's easy to get mad over all this stuff, and we all have, and we all show our emotions, and we all do it. It's tough to jump out of these cars. Remember, he was just in a car about 4 or 5 minutes ago, coming out of that turn wide open at 180 miles an hour.
Thinking about winning
a race. And now you're sticking a mic in his face saying, what the heck happened out there? These guys have to regain their composure very quick, and these young guys do it very, very well. I'm going to say that. We all blow off every now and then, and Carl maybe blew off a little bit at Michigan, but he understands where he's at, and he does it very, very well.
We did the right thing, though, by sending Dave instead of Marty.
That could be. That could be.
A totally different situation.
But when they talk about cool finishes and you see that paint scheme on that 42 car.
Oh, yeah. It was 28 when I wrecked.
I know, yeah.
Davey and I came down the same way and wrecked at the end of one of the Winstons at the time.
Yep.
And believe me, whether you win, lose, or draw, when somebody wrecks, it may look good on tape, but it's still not a cool finish.
Yeah. But you were both going for it.
Both going for it, and that's what it's all about, and that's what the fans pay to see. That's why people are sitting at home, hopefully at 12 o'clock midnight tonight, still watching us on TV, trying to see this thing. This is what NASCAR racing, whether it be Busch truck, Nextel Cup, doesn't make any difference, is all about. It's somebody fighting for the win all day long.
Still doing a lot of cleanup along the front stretch where that wreck occurred. Let's check back downstairs with Dave.
Well, it's been an interesting night for the 33 car. You've had problems with the race car. You've had an angry boss, and now it looks like you might help him clinch a championship here. What do you think of that?
Well, the biggest thing is what Shane Wilson and all them guys on the 21 did. Those guys, we raced against them every week, and they were tough to beat. It's a big deal for everybody. Kevin Harvick Incorporated. I'll be honest with you, I'm a little embarrassed about what happened tonight. We didn't perform the way we needed to on pit road, but our car's good enough to get up there, and if that happens for Kev, it's awesome. We're all happy for him.
If he clinches a championship, do you think all those pink slips he talked about are going to be forgotten?
I don't know. I just hope I'm not one of the pink slips. He kind of calmed down a little bit, and we got the car a little bit better, but we still got some work to do.
The NASCAR official wants to speak with you here, so we'll back out. Hopefully they have some good news. That's Wally Rogers, and he's been working for Kevin Harvick, Inc. all year, and congratulating his boss, maybe.
And if he clinches, that Monday morning meeting may be a little bit easier to take.
It'll be a lot easier
than it was going to be.
Oh, yeah. The Monday morning meeting, I would hate to be on the pit crew. 40 laps ago.
Yeah.
It's okay right now. It's okay. I think we're
What did he do, Dave? Did he fire everybody 40 laps ago, or was the deal?
Hey, well, I didn't want to report that because it was rather negative news. Kevin was rather upset, and just like Wally said, he was embarrassed. They had trouble on pit road. They had lug nuts falling off, and Kevin thought that there was something wrong with the car, so he was even more frustrated. And yes, the words, I believe, job elimination in some form or another were mentioned by Kevin. So, but drivers always get a little terse in those situations. Kyle, right?
What are you trying to say, man?
You own a race car, right? That's what that's all about.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
All right, they continue the track cleanup. Going to give us a chance at a finish here, and we'll come back and take you to the checkers eventually.
Next Friday night on TNT. They're smart.
Your methodologies are antiquated and weak.
They're sexy. They're dramatic.
That's kicking your ass.
And they only answer to one man.
Good morning, Charlie.
I hope you're ready for your next assignment.
See Drew Barrymore, Cameron Diaz, and Lucy Liu in Charlie's Angels. Next Friday night at 9 on TNT.
Say, there's nothing worse than coming off a turn 4, leading the pack, checkered flag in your sights, and bang, you run out of gas. You lose because of lousy fuel mileage.
Well, America is losing the fuel mileage race. But there's something you can do to win.
Make sure you keep your car properly tuned with plugs, filters, belts, and hoses.
And check your tire pressure often.
It also doesn't hurt to lose the lead foot. If you want to win the fuel mileage race, every little bit helps.
conditions, courtesy of TxDOT.
TNT Sports at the Lowe Motor Speedway for the 24 Hours of Charlotte, NASCAR Busch Series racing. Got a handful of laps to go here. Going to go green-white checkered. When we go back to green here. And the field's going to roll off a pit road. Here's the crash. This is going for the lead. Casey Mears in the 42, Carl Edwards in the 60.
And there was plenty of racetrack up there. I mean, you know, we're looking at it from here, but from that windshield, that's a football field wide for a race car driver as far as the hole goes.
Plenty of racetrack there, but just like Casey said, he started up there. Carl made an adjustment. He went a little bit higher, and if you look at him, his right rear, the racetrack's a little bit lighter gray up here where he's at right now. And when you're up there, you're in the marbles almost, and he just runs out of room.
We've completed 199 laps.
So now we have Dave Blaney in the lead. Matt Kenseth is second. Waltrip, O'Quinn, and Compton.
And O'Quinn was in that, somewhat involved in it. I don't know if they stopped the race so quick that he wasn't able to come down pit road and change tires, but he's going to need 4 tires, or either he's going to ride around and just finish 5th. Which would be nice, just to ride around, just finish 5th on a green-white checker.
Yeah. I mean, if he's got any tires left, but I mean,
yeah.
You come in and get tires anyway, you're not going to lose any positions, really.
Yeah, right. He's got nothing to lose. Nothing to lose.
This will be the 9th green-white checkers for the Busch Series in 2006. If the race reaches its scheduled conclusion, under the caution, NASCAR will make 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. If the caution comes out at any time during that, the race is over, and NASCAR will use the 14 scoring loops and videotape to determine the finishing order, which is what happened last Sunday at Talladega. And as you might expect, that takes a little while to make sure you get everything right. Kevin Harvick has scored 12th. And the scoring loop will update when they go across start-finish this time. Harvick needs to finish 32 points ahead of Carl Edwards. Edwards obviously is out of the race after that crash. Is that O'Quinn coming down pit road?
Yep. Getting those 4 tires Kyle suggested might be a good idea.
Lights are out on the pace vehicle, so we will go back to green next time. Dave Blaney has never won a NASCAR Busch Series race in 92 starts. His best, 2nd, twice. Darlington and Atlanta. This is his 12th Busch Series race at Charlotte.
He'll have his hands full. He's got a good car behind him.
Yeah, he's got a good car behind him that can run anywhere on the racetrack. We talked about it earlier, how Matt had moved around looking for a place to get around the 60. So you know Matt knows what he can do in the middle of the racetrack. He knows what he can do on the bottom, and he knows what he can do high.
Blaney's got to just really get a great restart. And you know, put a couple car lengths between him and the 17, and hopefully that's going to be enough to pull it off.
This is just the kind of wacky race that Michael Waltrip would win.
Yeah.
You know?
He's done that before.
Yes, he has.
There's Michael in the 99.
So now the scoring has updated. Harvick only a couple of positions ahead of Edwards, but Harvick trying to clinch the championship tonight. We'll see how it all comes down when the scoring's finally done and we see the checkered flag, but he could clinch the Busch Series championship tonight. Looking for a race winner and maybe another champion.
It should be interesting to see what that 50 put on for tires. Yeah. That could be a very fast car, depending on what they put on there.
Yeah. He does have a little damage to the right front there.
Yeah, he does.
17 car in second has led 51 laps tonight. Dave Blaney looking for his first win in the Busch Series.
See, Kenseth was laying back there a little bit. And he's got a pretty good run. Whoa, a little loose there.
Car smoking on the backstretch.
Okay, so drives in. Oh, he drives in hard. Oh, maybe too hard. He's going to open the door for the 17.
Side, keep digging, buddy. White flag right here. Keep digging.
Side by side, 1 to go.
I think Blaney drove that thing in just a little bit too deep, Kyle. Hanging with them, though.
He is giving it all he has right now. This is great racing right here, man.
Right there. Now he's see if he can hold that line through 3 and 4.
What a great run by Blaney, man.
Has never won in the Busch Series.
It's going to lose a little bit here, but
oh, he's got it. He's got it. Kenseth gets loose.
Goes around. Blaney.
Oh.
Back it down, baby. You're the best.
Dave Blaney wins a wacky race at Charlotte. Denny Hamlin has gone around. Kyle Busch is on pit road.
He's hit something.
Imagine that.
A lot of damage on the left front there, but man, that's a great finish.
That was a great finish. To have stayed here all night long, it was worth the finish. But Kenseth was driving the wheels off of it.
He's giving everything he had.
Everything he had, man. But Blaney opened it up and gave him the low line where he had been. But that's the way it was.
Dave Blaney gets his first Busch Series win. Dave, take it away.
And I want to know if crew chief Trent Owens knows how to answer the last question that Dave said over the radio. Where do we go now? Trent, you know where Victory Lane is?
It's somewhere in the middle. I've been here for years, so I think we can find it.
How in the world did you guys do that?
I don't know, man. We had a flat tire, went to the back, we run in the middle of the pack. Next thing you know, we're 4 cars on the lead lap, and come in and got 4 tires, and it just all worked out. I mean, sometimes you have them nights where you can't do anything right, and then sometimes you have them nights where everything falls in place. And this evening, everything fell in place. That's one thing. Great clips. Braun Racing. It's a huge win for Braun Racing. I want to thank Todd Lowe, Todd Braun for giving me this opportunity as crew chief. But man, I'm just so excited. I don't know what to do.
Great win and a great drive and a great crew chiefing job as well, Bill.
And a great job by you too, Dave.
Good to see Dave win.
It's great to see.
He's very underrated driver in this series.
Yeah, and he has places like Atlanta and places like that he runs, and Dave can drive the high line, man. And he'd run it up there on the outside of Kenseth. Kenseth gets a little bit loose. He corrects. I thought he was going to get it back, man, but it's just...
These races are worth staying around for the finish.
Yes, they are.
There's Kevin Harvick. He is the 2006 NASCAR Busch Series champion. He has mathematically clinched the title with 4 races still remaining. 7 wins. He is unofficially 775 points ahead of second place Carl Edwards.
And I think his night explains how goofy this race was. For him to have the trouble he had, to be 35th, to work himself back, to be 9th, to have another top 10 finish.
Yeah.
It's Kevin Harvick's year.
Yeah, exactly. You can do no wrong sometimes. When it's your year, it's your year.
Kevin Harvick, his second Busch Series championship. And then he's going to have a lot of guys to celebrate with too. Alan?
Well, Kevin right now was just getting the official word here a minute ago. He was coasting around after the race ended. He asked his crew, did we win it? And they said, well, they haven't really told us anything yet, but they want you to stop on pit road, so I guess so. Kevin getting unbuckled now and getting ready to climb out. And as we discussed, not necessarily the way he wanted the championship celebration to begin, but here he is, the 2006 NASCAR Busch Series champion. And that look says it all, right? I know the night didn't go the way you wanted it to, but congratulations, championship number 2.
Yeah, I mean, this is really awesome. I was a little bit disappointed. Obviously, you can't control the flat tires, but I like to control the things that we can control on pit road, and we had we weren't very good in the pits tonight, but they did a great job preparing this thing. This thing was fast, able to get one of our laps back, and we made adjustments on it all night to make it better. And what a year it's been. I mean, you know, U.S. Coast Guard and RCR, all those guys have done a great job for me, and Shane Wilson, Todd Barrier, Richard Childress. I mean, this was just kind of a 5-minute conversation that Richard and I had, and we said, what the heck, we'll make a run for the championship and see what happens when we get to the first Charlotte and go from there. So just proud of everybody. It's been quite the year in the Busch car, and everything that happened tonight, we still finished in the top 10. So it's just been an incredible year.
Pat Burns from Anheuser-Busch is here and has something he wants to show you.
Congratulations with this. What a great ride. Thank you very much. What a crazy ride tonight.
Woo! That's finally over with.
Won the 2001 Busch Series championship, was also Rookie of the Year in the NASCAR Nextel Cup Series that year. The 2002 IROC champion, 1998 NASCAR West Series champion. Kevin Harvick, the 2006 Busch Series champion. He celebrates that. We go to Victory Lane.
And Dave Blaney finally getting out of his car. He was sitting in it just saying over and over, I just don't believe it. They're trying to give him some beverage. Well, you were saying you don't believe it. It's taken you so long to get here. You've been close so many times, Dave. What's it mean to you now?
Oh, that was fun. That was a crazy night. We had a good car for a while, had a bad car for a while, and you know, had a flat tire and got the lucky dog just at the right time. And I knew what I had to do to hold Matt off, but I didn't think I could do it. But yeah, we got there, so it was way cool.
And he pulled along the inside. You were hanging up on your line up on the outside there.
Yeah, that's the only way I could do is pinch him down there and try to hold him. And man, I wish my wife and kids were here. They kind of missed it tonight, but big fun.
First NASCAR Busch Series win for Dave Blaney, and a night that will be remembered for a long, long time. Unofficial results at the bottom of the screen. Here's Marty with Matt Kenseth.
Well, Matt Kenseth was a part of the crazy finish here tonight at Charlotte. And tell me about that last lap. You were trying to get around Blaney. He was giving you a hard time.
Yeah, that wasn't too coordinated by me for sure. So that was a dumb finish. But yeah, that was cool for Dave. I'm glad he won. You know, he protected the outside, which was actually smart. You know, you think the bottom's the way to go. And I just couldn't get him clear. I had a good run off of 2, and he drove into 3. You know, right at my door, and I probably drove in too hard and got the car loose. So I should have backed the corner up and tried to pass him on exit. But I just didn't think he'd hang in there like that. I thought we had a fast enough car to do that. But that was one mess of a race, that's for sure.
I told him he finished 4th backwards. He said, yay. Wasn't exactly the finish he wanted.
Dave, with Michael Waltrip just mentioning that it was Friday the 13th. What a shocker. And you've had an interesting day.
I was last in gut practice, slowest guy here. And that's a terrible feeling because I got those computers and it's like arrows are pointing at it when you're last. But then I crashed my Family Dollar car qualifying, and I got another Family Dollar car out, and then I finished second in my Family Dollar car. And the way this day has gone, Dave, wouldn't be surprised if Blaney fails post-race inspection. And I get the win like at 4 in the morning. But Armando Fitz is a great man, and I really, thanks, Stace. I really appreciate him working with us and Family Dollar sponsoring us. I have to admit, Dave, just a little embarrassed though.
Because?
Well, I finished second. I probably shouldn't have. But I remember one day I lost a race that I should have won. So I guess it all works out. Friday the 13th. Stay tuned. You better watch for post-race inspection details. Wait, what if I fail? No, that's fine.
Then that goes back to, oh, never mind. There will be another scoring check, and NASCAR will get it right. Bill?
Thanks, Dave. And it's almost, as Wally pointed out, Saturday the 14th, so all that craziness will go away. By the way, Blaney got the lucky dog on the 8th caution on lap 124. That got him back on the lead lap and sent him on to victory lane. Kyle, thanks a lot for being up here. Good luck tomorrow night.
Thanks for having me. Hopefully tomorrow night's race will be a lot calmer, a lot more just your standard, ordinary, dull NASCAR race. How about that?
That ain't happening.
All right, man.
Tomorrow, the chase for the championship continues from Charlotte on NBC. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock Eastern Time with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. Don't forget, we're on the air at 7 tomorrow night. The green flag is at 7:20 Eastern Time. Coming up next on TNT, Will Smith and Kevin Klein are hired guns in the appropriately named Wild Wild West. A wild, wild night at the Lowe Motor Speedway at Charlotte. Kevin Harvick clinches the Busch Series championship. Dave Blaney wins the race. See you tomorrow night, 7 o'clock on NBC.